Live from Kitale, Honorable Joseph Makilap, Baringo North Member of Parliament is with us here in studio. Honorable John Namoit, Turkana South MP is here with us in studio. We are focusing on the solutions now, and I'll read some of your solutions as well at Trevor Mbiji at Citizen TV Kenya using the hashtag Monday Report. There are 3 of them that the government is now deploying. 1, 30 days dusk to dawn curfew. 3 days of voluntary disarmament, followed by a forceful disarmament, and then the deployment of the KDF and the police. Namoit, is there any other solution that can be deployed?
There's a lot of solutions.
Yeah.
Trevor, from my perspective of this business, first of all, I want to request the Kenyan government led by His Excellency Dr. William Ruto to allow Pokot to go back to their respective counties. That is step number 1. Step number 2, let us do civic education to all these warring communities. Let us do civic education. Remember, Trevor, all these fights is a result of competition of resources. The resources in question is water. We don't have water. Like in Kademoi, where these Pokots are residing now, we don't have water. So we need water for animals and human. Again, in addition to this, we need schools, boarding school for the pastoralist community. The peace dividend projects that are supposed to bring the 2 communities together need to be in place. Like now, the borders of the counties, we need to put some projects, which I call peace dividend projects. Let's close the border of Amdat, where weapon trafficking, the trafficking of ammunitions take place. Amodat is where Pokots are using. That's the place where Pokots used to bring their weapons. Let's have a discussion, a conversation with political leadership. There's a problem with us, politicians. We take advantage of this community because politicians tend to incite their members. They tend to finance. A case in hand where a chopper, I'm told, belonging to my colleague, was used to ferry some goodies from Amudat all the way to Takwel. Then from Takwel, they were headed to those kraals. After police arrested those culprits, they were taken to law courts. Unfortunately, these politicians made sure that these culprits were transported to Kitale. From Kitale, they bailed out the terrorists, and they ferried them with a chopper all the way from Kitale law courts up to Kademoi, where the kraals, we have Pokot kraals. So we know the persons who are facilitating this act.
Okay.
It is politicians.
All right. You wanted to agree with something, Honorable Makilap?
I think next time we need Pokot here because he's the aggressor, so that when we look ourselves on eye to eye, they will be able to actually know that's the truth. Now, Trevor, I want to agree with the RC, who is now the governor of Trans Nzoia. Number 1, there will be you and cry once the military people start doing the operations. There will be a you and cry from human rights activists, from politicians doing state managing in those areas. And the government need to know that that should not be allowed to happen, because when our people are now being killed everywhere, where are they? Where are the civil society? Why are not coming out to cry? When the people are, children, schools are closed. So I agree with Natembeya, that is true. Secondly, the solutions that are provided there by the president, the curfew, the disarmament, the whatever, these are what is called reactionary solutions to an escalating problem at the moment. It is a temporary stopgap to stop the situation and normalize the country. But before we stop the inlet of firearms to those areas, let us switch up those areas that Weshimua is trying to say, where the guns and the ammunition come from. Let us ensure there is a lot of discipline with the security forces so that they don't go hungry. Let us facilitate the police. Let us facilitate the operation commanders so that they don't be tempted to give out some ammunition to the bandits. So stop the source of these guns, ensure that the officers are facilitated so that you get rid of, because the tendency is when you tell people to volunteer to bring, they will bring a useless one. But the real one, the real gun cannot be brought. So as we talk about a long-term problem, I gave you a long-term solution this afternoon, and I want the nation to know that the president was with us and Kamket accepted with this MCS that operation should be done in their area. So there is no shortcut about it.
So all of you leaders agreed
that operation must be done, a forceful operation, and let people go. Even if you want the grass, you go back to your constituency so that from there you start negotiating what you want. But you don't force people, forceful deportation of population, and then you come and graze freely using guns, firearms to innocent people. So let everyone go to his own constituency and then from there start negotiating. Don't come and threaten us with guns and everybody and then graze in our land when you expect us to just say it is a situation. But the three fundamental issues that I've told you, Trevor, that in Uganda, the president established a ministry called Karamojang Affairs and utilized intelligence after gathering all intelligence. Yoweri Museveni worked on intelligence to get all the culprits, and they did proper disarmament. We want again our security forces, with the help of the president, to utilize intelligence in the North Rift and now go for the bandits to the core of the houses.
Governor Natembeya, what are the solutions according to you, apart from the three that have been set out by government?
I agree with the president absolutely. That's where to start from, to establish normalcy. But then there are the usual one that we have always proposed, having schools, including boarding schools, where we'll have all communities, children from all communities learning. We need to open up those areas. They're fairly remote. Bandits can very easily hide in those areas. The police cannot move very quickly. There are no roads. We need to have roads. Let us have water points, enough of them, so the community don't fight over these resources. Let us have basic facilities, hospitals. Let us reestablish the rule of law. Let us make impunity expenses. If you're found with a firearm, let the consequences be severe, be dire. Let the courts also come in very strongly. What be evidence, and you have seen the evidence. So that let us punish impunity. Trevor, in this during the curfew, I want the curfew to apply to the entire political leadership of those areas. They should be banned from going to those places. They keep off until the government sanitizes those places. No politician should go there and seek political sympathy for his people and make unnecessary noises there. We want to leave peace meetings. We do not have any peace meetings in those areas because the warring communities interpret peace meetings as a sign of weakness. Things where women and children will go and attend. Afterward, the men will go there and fight. So let us leave peace meetings from this discussion for the longest period until normalcy has been established and even the schools have been built so that people understand the meaning of peace. Let us pay our officers very well, very well. Today, when the military deploys officers to Somalia to go and fight Al-Shabaab, they all run there graciously. In fact, if you're on the list that was supposed to go to Somalia and the name is removed, officers cry. They want to go there and deal with bombs and explosives and IEDs. We want the same thing to apply, that if you are posted to Kapetu today and you are an AP officer, you'll jump to the next lorry and go there because the incentives for you to do that. And finally, let us sort out the issue of the market for the stolen animals. That is the unsaid story. The animals end up somewhere. The animals are ending up on somebody's plate somewhere in Nairobi. Let us get hold of these characters these shadowy characters who are hiding behind the scenes and they are funding all these atrocities in the Rift Valley. But I want just to urge the president to have the resolve, to have the heart of steel. I'm sure people will come out and saying, "Oh, Your Excellency, you are saved. You are a religious man. or women have been raped, and of course, stage manage things. Let him remain firm, because at the end of the day, it's for the good of the country. Otherwise, if you don't sort out that menace, as I said, it's going to spread all over the place, because anybody now neighboring all those areas is looking for a way of finding its own firearm. And if you want a bunduki, you'll have to use it. Those things are cast. But let the government support its agencies on the ground, whether they can deliver on the respective mandates.
Yeah, Governor, I know you've been there several times. What should the security forces expect?
Serious resistance is not going to be a walk in the park. Those bandits have mastered that territory. By the way, if a bandit kills a sergeant, when he goes home, his rank becomes sergeant. If they kill a senior superintendent, he becomes a senior superintendent. He doesn't go for raids. When they raise, when the other junior fellows go for raids, he just stays at home and is given his share of the loot. So even those commanders are going to be targeted, because there is an honor in killing a commander. Let them not think that they're just going to walk in and shout and leave. Let them go in knowing that they're going to fight. Those guys are not civilians. Sio raia, msifikiri ni raia hii, raia kubeba homemade guns. You are going to deal with the battle-hardened fellows. In some of those areas, when a baby, we normally give toys to children. Ama wanampatia kijiti. In some of those places like Tiati, anapewa spent cartridge, ama anapewa live bullet. Mtoto wa miaka mitatu. They grow up knowing how to assemble and disassemble a firearm. They are going to fight with people who are ready to die. There's honor in fighting police officers. There is honor in killing a police officer, stripping them, and going away with their firearm. Good people, if they're listening to me, let them know that they're going to fight a war. They're not going to do civilians. It is bad. And I would suggest that those who feel that they are civilians and they want to be in that area, for me, I think they just move out to let the security officers deal with these criminals once and for all.
All right. Governor, thank you so much for making time. And my guest also in studio, His Excellency George Natembeya, Governor for Trans Nzoia, Honorable Joseph Makilap, Baringo North, Member of Parliament, and Honorable John Namoit, Turkana South, Member of Parliament. Asanteni sana for making time. That's where we leave it for now at Monday Report. We're taking a quick break. When we come back, I'll come and read some of your feedback before we call it.